to warm up a little bit differently when I'm getting myself with my brace on. Throw kicks at each other, right? Warm up your legs. But at some aspect in the kicking that you guys are warming up with, whoever you team up with, you can switch your teams. That's why I asked you're okay for kicking, right? We're going to work on your design. You're also going to, at one point, you're going to just throw your kicks. The other point, you're going to say, okay, come at me. So on the kicks, you're also going to, now that, when you say come at me, the guy who says come at me is still kicking. The guy that's moving forward just starts moving forward to your opponent, so he's kicking going backwards.
Kicking on the retreat.
Kicking on the retreat. So bring that in from time to time in what you're doing. Right? So you got a whole idea of actually practicing your retreat motion as well, along with the stretching your legs.
So the guy who's coming in, he's kicking? And
No.
So the guy who's coming in,
He's just moving in.
He's blocking?
Yeah, he's just moving in. That's it. Yeah, of course, there's blocking throughout the whole thing. It's light blocking. We'll get you in a little bit conditioned for what we're going to be doing, but the whole idea of here is like, just every now and then, like you throw your kicks, because that's the idea of stretching and practicing your kicks, and it should be like a 1, 2, 3, 4, or 1, 2, 3, 4. You know, if you got to do a combination, it's cool. You go 1, 2, 1, 2. You get that there. Don't get ahead of yourself. So go, blah. Okay. On the back motion, when you're going back, that's up to the guy who goes next. So if you're going to be kicking next, you go, come at me. So you come, so you're coming at them. And when you're coming at them, you're just moving towards them. So you're just moving, you're moving towards them, so they're getting practice going backwards with their legs.
I should come towards you at that pace?
Yeah. You know, like especially since it's new to you guys. So when you're coming back, you really want to play with it a little bit. So like you don't want to like make it. So the forward motion should be, very clear to read. So if I'm going on forward motion, he's kicking, right? I'm going to go here, and then, right, he's got to see where he's coming in, and you've got to block it. And then here, I may just go here, and he's got to see where he goes. So say he's got to do, a back kick or a reverse kick or something like that. So you get a little bit, going with that. If you want to go faster, you can. That's up to you guys when you get a little bit better at it. But so you're designing your kick. So if he's standing here and he's moving in, I go this way, right? I may want to come here, kick, and then turn and kick. You see what I'm saying? So you have to allow time for that when you see them. So the guy that's moving in is so that the person that's throwing the kick can practice the motion, how he's looking, you're viewing, where you're seeing. Like if you're if I do the same thing again, say come this way here, I moves back, I go this way, and I go this way. This is not right. All right? This here, as I can see him, is right. So also your visual becomes important. So it adds a little bit of the game to what we're doing, especially when you guys get into the fighting. Okay? You got it? So just team off, and then every now and then switch, and then we'll get you started. But this is a great way to start loosening up your body and like light contact, right? So the blockers should be there, but they're going to aid the kicker. So in other words, if he's coming at me and I'm a blocker, right? And I'm coming at him, I'm going to come at him, and then he starts throws a kick. You see my block's light, right? Okay, and then as I come at him again, he throws a kick, right? And you can see like he messed up on that a little bit, and that's why I want you to go backwards. Okay? So bring that into the stretching your legs out, but everything should be very as precise as you can throw it. Right? It has to meet its target, so you have to make sure that you have a destination when you're going back. Right? So if I'm going back on him and it's kicking, is that where you want it to go? Okay, and then my block is just simple, and then you move from here. Okay, you guys got it? So every now and then bring that in. It's not just always going forward, right? Good. Got it.
Can we just like mix it in with like regular, first doing?
I don't think you can, unless you, because you're on the attack, right? Can you do that?
I mean, you have to be able to read the person as they're coming in, right? Like that.
I agree with that. I think we should do that, but not at this moment.
Got it.
So you're practicing the back motion,
Okay.
you know. But yeah, once you guys get more comfortable with it, so it's just basically just the four of you can kind of, yeah. Not right now, because I really want you to concentrate
Kind of make it more deliberate.
Yeah, and how you're throwing that kick.
Okay.
It's important to me how you're throwing that kick. If you're coming back, am I coming back this way? Am I moving this way? You know, and then throwing. You know, so your positioning becomes important to throwing the kick. But yeah, definitely that's where we're gonna go. You can just play with that once you're comfortable. But remember, this is also stretch your legs out. So you don't want to get it into the fighting game. You want to get into technique, application. So it's a little bit different, but I think you guys are gonna like it. You're gonna benefit from it. You're gonna see some mistakes that you're making. You're gonna be able to rectify it. So let's just have 2-2, and then every now and then switch it up once we're back.
Sure.
I'm gonna put my shoes on. That way I don't
So then
catch toes.
I know you're just getting back with your back now.
Well, thank you.
So just make sure that, you know, you are even more specific with your kicking. Like you're lined up right. And that's really what I'm looking for. You know? So when you guys are coming on your attack motions, they could be more aggressive. On the reverse motions, and if you just want to just work on reverse, you could just work on reverse. You know, it's up to you guys. But right now, you want to stretch your legs out. That's a really good way to stretch. Light contact, light movement, right? On kickers, you should also, you know, on the blocking, your legs coming out, as you're kicking, it should be designed so that you, as a blocker, know where the kick's coming. It should be obvious, because that's what you want to practice. So the idea is not to try to get in, it's to try to stretch your legs out and work on excellence on your movement, where your knees position, stuff like that. So you can take your time with the kick, all right? But it has to be thrown best that you can really throw it. So, you know, you don't want to trick your opponent. You know, like the person that's in front of you. You're not trying to trick them. You're trying to just see the target and go for that target. Okay? There's no stealth motion. It's all about stretching and how you are actually throwing your kick, especially on the reverse. So really take your time with it. Okay? Okay? All right, go ahead.
Okay, first? 12 hours?
Huh?
Now also keep your range, guys. So if you did that kick again, right? Do the same kick you did. Now, if he's too far, what should you have done? Okay, yes, maybe a little bit more of the Michael Jackson shimmy, all right? Okay, you just want to get that whole idea, that moonwalk thing, right? You want to do it more. So if he's there, that's a big shimmy. So you should big shimmy, like you're still out of range. So now shimmy big. You're still out of range. Now, so this is what it's also working on. All right, so I'm glad I saw that. So it's about following your opponent, you know, with the kicking. If you're kicking both ways. You have to know your opponent is. You have to follow your opponent now, because most people in real life, guys, especially with kicks in the knife fighting that I've experienced. And I experienced 3 or 4 different knife fights. And it was funny because in the knife fights, I never used my hands. My legs always came into the game. You know, like it just instinctively, my legs came up. So you need to follow your opponent. The one attacker was standing in a corridor, and he was huge. He was like a freaking eclipse. And I attacked him, right? I moved towards him because I was here and he was there, and I moved towards him. And as he pulled out the weapon, I was able to attack on the fly. So you also have to be able to understand where your range is. So if he moved back, he's already positioned, because that's the whole point of this, right? He's already positioned. He's not moving anywhere, because he has to block you, right? So at that point, you were like, I could have put a truck between you, you know? Could have went in between you. You have to see that, and you have to recognize that instantly, right at that moment. You got to recognize it instantly as you're doing it. Right? You can't be like, okay, I'm gonna do this, you know, later. I get it later. You got to get it now, because there's all different ranges here, right? All different things. So that's what I mean. You throw that kick, you see it, you got to go, damn. You got to say to yourself, damn. He's still a mile away and he's not moving. What am I doing wrong? He has to block it. It's not coming in like a thunderbolt. So if Vic is here, right, and say I'm on the kick, right? Vic is here and he's coming in. He comes in, boom, and I'm here, and then I throw my kick here. Nope, stop coming in, right? I throw my kick here. It's not good. So now if he does it again, and if he comes in, I'm moving here, I'm looking at, boom, that's where my kick goes, right? Now, where you were at, if he's just standing there, if you were at, you went this way here, you retreated so far, and then you went this way, and then you kicked. And it was like, okay, I'm not moving with my opponent. So from here, I'm gonna kick from here. I'm gonna see here, I'm like far. I'm gonna go here, move, here, turn, and then kick. You see all those variables that come in. Okay? Got it? All right, go ahead, guys. Hey, Tim.
Hey.
How are you?
All right.
Just loosen yourself up, Tim.
Yeah.
How far did you get on the 5L before? Where did you stop? Do you remember any of it? Have you been able to practice?
Not this carrying hands.
Oh, okay. Good. Good.
Okay. Yeah. Water.
Sorry, good. I wasn't sure if I could pitch the kick, so I was trying to keep up the extra range.
Okay. once I start to set up the shot.
Here's the just real quick. Oh, cool. Why do you keep wanting to come next to me, man? I keep walking away from you, and you keep walking into me.
He keeps pushing
It's
me
the,
this way.
it's the cereal.
Yeah.
It's the cereal. Okay, so that's a really good point. All right, so you guys have ever fought multiple people, right? You have never been in a fight where you're fighting more than one person. One time, right? It's the chimpanzee. You guys are freaking still dealing with your reptile monkey brains, right? I'm in a movie theater. I was a little happy, so I said, I'm gonna go to the mall and I'm gonna go in a movie theater, which is a funny story, right? So I go to the movie theater and there's nobody in there, some ninja movie, and I had too many Long Island teas, I didn't want to drive, so I just went into the movie theater, right? I go into the movie theater, I sit there, it's completely empty, right? Nobody in there. Oh, okay, I'm gonna watch this movie, which, by the way, I fell asleep. I woke up and the screen was dead because the movie broke, and then everybody was gone, which is another funny story. Waking up in a movie theater with nobody there. I thought, oh, I guess I'm gonna eat popcorn and eat their stuff. It was pretty funny. Anyway, I'm in the movie theater, right? And this group of guys walk in, about your age, maybe a little bit younger. They all walk in, big group, like 8 people watching whatever this stupid movie is. I'm in the movie theater, nobody in there. They all sat around me. I'm in the middle of the, not even in the perfect seat. I'm like in the seconds. I was, just sit here. And they all sat around me. It's like you all just gravitate to one another. Because you have either one, you need that social communication, that energy. Okay, I get it. Maybe they wanted to feel safe because they're sitting around a maniac. I don't know. But you guys have no idea of your spatial around it. You just see what's in front of you. And you concentrate in front of you, but you don't see that there's people next to you. Right? And you run into them. You run into people all the time. How do you think we get in car accidents so much, right? So there's always one guy that's a little bit more aware than the other person. And there's so many stories, amazing how people just don't see what's in front of them. They don't see. So you guys need to be better than that. So Vic has a point, right? What the hell's the matter with you? What is wrong with you guys? What is wrong with you in general? Why can't you see your surroundings? Why can't you recognize everything that's going on around you? Why do you have to clump together like a bunch of cereal in a bowl? What is that called? Is there an effect for that?
I call it the Cheerio effect.
The Cheerio effect. Okay, that's a good effect.
It's called brownie in motion.
All right, whatever. Stop it. Be aware also what's around you. Now, if you have a strategy, there's been some battles that I've been in where I use the other people to get in the way of the other people. That's cool. So if the two of you are working together and you just say you want to annoy Vic or annoy them and get them in the way so you can finagle something, you see strategy, well, that works for me. Okay? You got the idea? Just stop the density. Start using your visual cortex. It's there to use, right? See your surroundings that's going on. See what's going on. You can't just be aware of what's fighting you because people have friends. They have dogs and pit bulls that come out from the side. Kids on skateboards that are just like, oh, what's that? Boom, we're running into you. There's all that stuff. You need to become aware, right? Okay, you're driving in your car, right? There's a person driving, going this way, you're coming to a stop sign. You're seeing that they may not stop, they may stop. What are one of the other things you should be doing?
Viewing.
Yeah. Right? So, one of the other things you should be doing, if they don't have dark windows and you can see into the car, who's driving the car? Who's behind the wheel of the car? You should also be able to look. If you can't see because, okay, that's a drug dealer, all right, or whatever it is, then you should definitely stop, right? But the whole point is that you should also view what's in the car, what's going on in the car. Does the person have kids in the car? Are they busy? Is there a dog moving around in the car? Is the person just look like they're not paying attention? Not just the car, but what's in the car, right? There was an accident one time I was in, and I'm driving, the light changed, and there's this truck, a small truck coming down behind me, barreling down. I was stuck behind these other, and this happened a long time ago, and I was stuck behind the light stopped, and I could see he's coming. He's got to hit me. I said, oh, okay, I see he's got to hit me, and I had a stick shift. I went, I'm just going to pull out, and he's just going to smash into me, because he's not going to stop. I looked up at the car that was in front of me. I saw a mother with 2 kids moving around the back seat. What would you do? Right? What could you do? No. I planned it. So I timed it. As he was coming down, I put it into first. He hit me. Bam! And I used it as a catapult. Bam! And I moved out of a dump truck that was coming the other way, went around. Just ricocheted off him. I timed it all. That woman didn't get hit because he would have really hurt them. The way I hit and the way he hit me, I was lucky enough that it just tapped me and his whole front bumper went right into his tires. And he just came to a stop before he even hit those other people. Right? So all that strategy came into play. Right? Everything just instantly. Because I also looked up and saw what was in front of me, I couldn't let that happen. Right? I wouldn't have felt right. Get out of the way and let this person run over the kids and hit these people, right? My wife at the time, when I was married, was in the car, and I didn't say anything to her. I just took that action. The guy couldn't move. I walked up to him and said, dude, he goes, why don't you keep going? The light was red. Did you notice the light was red? Right? All that came into play because of what?
Viewing.
Yes, now it makes sense. Sometimes it could save other people's lives as well. Right? Sometimes you can, and all the timing, everything, like the Kung Fu, we'll say, or the Sisters with the Systems became the car. Right? Handling a weapon, what should it be?
Extension of you.
Yes. Driving, what should it be?
Extension of you.
That's right. It's all there, guys. So Vic has a point getting back to that. So you're not just, there's a lot to practice here, right? All right, so let's change the game up a little bit. So now you're going to do 4-4, since we did that talk and inspired by Vic, right? But you got to do your 4-4 with the same thing, but your punches and everything that you're doing have to be readable. So in other words, in the 4-4, say he's coming back. You can practice, do whatever you want to do, and then that's where we start to play with what you were saying earlier, right? Where you can kind of just work off of each other and not have to say anything. That's where you want to go. So if I'm the attacker and I'm coming at him, I'm going to do 4-4 and he's here. I'm going to throw a punch so he could see it. Now you see how his timing was off now? It was just like after the fact, right? If I go this way, he's already there, right? So he's still got to work on his timing. So your punches now, with your kicks, if I throw a punch, boom, and then I come back here and I throw a punch, right? And he's still blocking the same. Then I see this motion, I throw a punch. It's just nice and easy so it can be read, so you can read. So you're working upon your blocking techniques, all right? You guys do what you're doing. Tim, come on, let's take a little walk.
Wait, where are we walking? Inside, outside?
Inside.
Okay.
Walk. When I say walk, I mean walk and sit.
That means that shoes are not.
Oh, no, you're not.
Yeah.
All right.
Are we attacking?
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry.
Okay.
All right, yeah. You guys want to switch?
Sure.
My first shot.
Oh, thanks.
Switch. All right. There's one.
All right, how's it working? Okay, so that whole visual thing, that goes two ways too, okay? So in the whole idea when you're moving, you also, the people that you're moving, you also have to be aware of what's moving towards you. And you can also move away from it, or you could decide to move towards you. So you have to be able to see visually what's actually happening as well, right? So if I got people over here, and I'm moving, and then I move over here, and the people are over here again, and I'm moving, and the people are over here again. So, okay, you could kind of bring a game into that as well. You could bring in like, okay, these guys just, you know, the Cheerio effect, right? Keep moving in. So I'm gonna also see that I'm also moving as well. I'm gonna move over here. If they keep moving towards me, either I'm gonna use it, or I'm gonna speak up and say, hey guys, I mean, spread out. You got a big place, why do you always have to do the Cheerios, you know? So it's up to you, but it also goes both ways. You have to recognize what's going on around you, what's moving towards you, and how it keeps moving towards you. You know, like stalking you in a way, right? And if you have to notice that as well. So, you know, you just don't want to get aggravated with it. You also want to say, okay, right now, I'm going to use this, and then if it keeps happening, I'm going to say something, right? You know, eventually, you guys got to move, stay in your space. But you can also see what's happening as you're gravitating towards it. Right? If it's always gravitating towards you. And it's very, so just think about the movie theater. You know? Think about what's going on around you, what's going on inside you. A lot of attacks and whatnot, you can read, like the first thing in a knife attack, what are you viewing? Right?
Weapon.
Okay. And the person's holding the weapon.
And
What type of weapon? And then where your surroundings are. All that has to happen instantly. And everything that you do. So you really want to, what we're working on here, is put it into practice. So when we start these fight classes, which we'll talk about in a little bit, these other things are what I'm going to be looking for. So when you guys first start going on, we have to talk about getting gear. Everybody, you know, where we're going to go for that, find a place online, and then we're all going to go for the same thing, and everybody can get, you know, you've got to wear a mouthpiece. You can wear a cup if you want. You can, we'll get everybody to get the same gloves, the open hand gloves. I would suggest shin pads. It's got to be light contact, but usually things don't work out that way. You know, people get carried away and it starts going a little bit heavier, and you got to have a tag one another. So those things would be good to wear, and headgear, and that's totally up to you. I can care less what you wear. If you go out there naked and that's what you want to do, that's fine.
All right, you guys are naked.
You want us to be naked.
Yeah, well, that's kind of scary, you know, like you see somebody nice and then you look at it and you think about them naked, you go, wait a minute.
That's Alice's new premium content.
Well, the Huns and stuff like that back in the day when they were attacking would fight you naked.
I thought that was the Celts.
There was a lot of people.
All right.
It was very confusing to your opponents.
Yeah,
You had this
yeah.
naked person coming at you, like,
What
whoa,
kind of big?
you know?
Then again, they also had a saddle on her. Instead.
Well, you heard it from Sifu, he wants us to short naked.
Yeah.
No gear.
All right, I will be one class I will miss though. We don't show up and we're Sifu, he's not here.
Just be careful around the pool with all the kids.
So it's up to you guys what gear you want to get. I think we should find a site that we can all go on, and then we can just like bring the computer here. We can just order everything together, right? I would suggest those things though, you know, headgear, this and the other. I don't think it's ever, but sometimes you get out here, accidents happen. And as you get better, you're going to be moving harder. You're going to be executing things better. And that's kind of why I had you work on some of the stuff we also did today, just to kind of get you guys used to just kind of moving against each other. The difference in these classes, which will only be once every couple of months or whatever, you know, you're going to have to tag one. You're going to have to hit one another. So you can't, you know, like, it's like contact, you can miss, but you kind of want to get as close as you can to the opponent, which is what we're trying to avoid, where you guys keep avoiding is your range, right? So it's got to really, that kind of movement works on your range, works on timing, works on everything. And that's kind of, you want to bring it into that realm. And then as you guys get deeper to the rabbit hole, I'll start showing you techniques for like what ring fighting cage fighting is really about, you know, and going into that, you know, and then you guys can start moving. And Vic will come into the area because he's you know, good with all the grappling techniques and all of that. He'll bring that into it. The stuff I do is more for real life violence. He'll go into the arm bars and all that stuff, because there's going to be a certain point where I'm going to say, okay, Vic, grab him. And you're going to be grabbed and you're going to be fighting to the ground, just so you get an idea of that. So that's where gear may come in a little bit. I would still like to everybody, you know, either you can fight barefoot or you can wear some shoes that aren't going to damage the other person, like wrestling sneakers or something like that there, if you want to keep that up and keep your feet from getting broken up if the guy blocks and your toes come into it, you know. All right, so there's not the same rules that you're following in a ring. Everybody on the game with that? So it's up to you. If I barefoot, sometimes, you know, I've seen people's toes go in other directions. So it's up to you what you want to do, okay? Who was that one guy that was out there fighting in his footwear?
Anderson Silva.
Yeah, terrible.
Yeah.
Stuff like that happens. All right?
Basically in his career.
Yeah. You know.
What happened to him?
Now my foot's been messed up forever because of that.
He went to
Forever. And I'm working on it. It's a working process, but stuff happens, you know. So, you know, you may want to subject yourself not to injury. You can get out there and play, and it's really up to you, okay, when we do that. So we'll talk more about that. Let's try to find a site that we can all go on. We can bring your computer down, and then you guys can order the stuff that you want to order for, okay? This is a fight class. It's purely volunteer. His idea. Blame him, okay? So we'll get into the fighting. All right, so what do you guys want to work on today? I would like to,
Say it louder, I'm sure.
footwork. Oh, okay. All right, so you want footwork on attacking, retreating? Because you do move like the Hulk.
Both.
Right? All right, so let's work on that a little bit. Let's work with the three of you. Vic, could you take him and review his 5-element form? Just review it and then get your ass back in here. Yeah, just to make sure he's on track with it, because he's got a lot of, then get back in and then we'll work on that, okay? Because you're okay. All right, go ahead. You guys can go right out here. Just, you know, just to make sure he's on track. Yeah.
Footwork with retreating would be best, since you want to go
Well, it's
to
about
revamp
the
section
run,
of fight form.
Footwork with the retreating?
With retreating. There's that one retreating drill in the fight form, that one section, where we have to keep moving backwards.
Okay, no, but yeah, that's good. That's what you guys are just working on, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, footwork, what does that entail? It entails viewing your opponent in range. Okay, which, you know, you guys are pretty bad at. All right, so when we're talking about footwork, now this is footwork. We're not talking about what we just talked about in the fight class. The fight class, eventually, when you guys get, I'm going to invite other people down. You're going to have all kinds of rock'em sock'em robots here. Right, so it's going to be fun. It will be fun, and everybody, same rules will follow, but rules usually go out the window with the reptile brain. All right, just to kind of get you guys engaged with that. Footwork is knowing your range and how far you are from your opponent. So it's in increments. So if he's standing here, he's got to just take his stance. If I'm here and I'm throwing my punch, right? So in the fight game, just to kind of, since we're talking about it a little bit, you guys, they're moving like this here, and in the fight game, relax for a second. In the fight game, people are looking for their openings, but they realize when they throw something, they're also vulnerable to what they're throwing, because the person's got to throw back. So they're dancing around, they're moving. You want to watch a good fighter, as far as I thought, that was out there, that was in the game for. You want to watch, get an idea of where he's bringing technique into it. Benny Arquitas. You know, where he brings some box, especially more to when he had more experience. Not in the beginning of his career, more towards the end of his career. When he was out there, he was just fighting strong, he had boxing stances, and he was just targeting. But his range was good. And that's what I believe changed a lot of it. Not just, he had good range, he was able to execute that technique, right? So he wasn't dancing around as much, he was moving, you could see he was looking, right? As opposed to what you're seeing today, everybody's dancing around because they have to put on a show too. It's all part of the game. So if he's standing here, right, he's got his hands up and I'm here, obviously, if I'm going to punch, you guys take these big steps, right? You see this here and you take these big steps, or you punch from here, right? So now I want to kind of get in the middle of that. And also he, as I punch, he could be punching too, right? And that's the whole idea. So you got to be aware of what's coming at you, what's happening, right? And if I'm here, how am I going to reach from here? So here, now watch the reach. This is all I did to reach, because I saw that. Now if I'm here, right? So, and he's standing there and I want to move in, I'm moving this way and move, you see? It's not just here, or I have to get close to my opponent. So when you're talking about range, right? It's little, like that little Michael Jackson shuffle you did, but it still was still out of range, right? Because that was a bigger move because you were throwing the kick. You had to see that and follow me, right? So the whole thing, back in the day when I was doing a lot of teaching, I used to fight and then I'd do that Michael Jackson moonwalk back. It was just funny. All right, so it was the whole point, like retreating, right? Retreating and attacking have to simultaneously, the retreat is when a person's coming at you. So you want to retreat with throwing things like what you were just saying, okay? So your movement, so if you want to practice that, let's isolate it for a moment. Just to isolate it, all right? So let's take the two of you guys out here, right? Come on out here, just take a stance in front of each other. That's it, you come over here, right? All right, so take your stance to each other. All right, so now, just what I did about switching your hip or making that move, so we'll isolate range. So if right where you're at now, without moving, without doing anything, if you were going to throw two punches, without throw punches, now okay, so
without trying to reach.
Yeah, without trying to reach him, right? And then if you were going to throw two punches, right, without trying to just throw, right? So now, okay, he still tried to reach, but when he did reach, he went this way, which did what? It pushed you into your opponent. So that's what I mean, doing a subtle breakdown. So you come out of here for a moment. You stay right where you're at. I'm here. So what you did was when you went here, even though you weren't trying to, but you still wanted to get close, right? You went this way. You see how you pushed your body forward? Right? So here, if I move this way, right, I'm moving here. You guys never pay attention to this. And the subtlety. So say if I'm here, and I want to, and we're far. Obviously, even if I do this, it's going to happen. Or if I go 1, 2, and step in. So that's all permissible. Yeah. Okay, but here you really want to see how your body is moving, relating to it, so we isolate the movement. Okay? Just to give you guys more practice with that visual. Right? Because I don't think we realize how much visual there is here. So here, if I'm here, my movement from here could just be this. Right? Could just be this. So my foot went from here to here, and it puts me right in. You see? You guys don't think of that. Instead, you went this way. And you weren't even doing anything yet, you know what I mean? So you're pushing yourself into your opponent and you're also losing power. Unless you're doing a dive punch, maybe. And dive punches that I do are completely different. They boom, they come up, they move, right? So I'm aiming. So if you start isolating your movement with that, I think it could go a long way for you. Right? So try it again. Come out here. Take like you've got a truck going through there, right? Okay. So right where you're at. And whoa, we really move back. So this is a kick range or a slight range. So now let's do that. You get out of the way. If I'm here and I'm going to work with my punches, I'm here. So now that's that slide step, right? But the slide step combines all of this. So if I'm going to move in, this foot's going to move here. I'm going to move here. You see how I move in? No, you don't, do you? All that was here. So that's a far range. And I know what you're going to do. You're going to come in like the Hulk, and you're going to retreat, and you're going to do all that. That's cool. That's all cool. But right now, I really want you to start to see your visual, all the things that you're missing. Okay? So I try it again. Come out there, do your thing, right? Wherever you guys want to do that. And just, now you see that. So now who's punching first here?
Oh,
All right, so now, how you gotta reach in without, all that excess movement, right?
can I step?
Yeah, you could do anything you want. It's just that you could see that. How do you feel about that?
Hey.
That's right, right? Okay, now, what about you, Venom? Okay, that's not too bad, but again, leaning. So when you guys lean, you're leaning into your opponent, which is gonna add to the grappling where a person's gonna grab you, where it's gonna go. That's what they're looking for. So you kind of want to keep yourself straight. Alex, you come out here for a moment, right? Let's have you and Venom stand in front of each other, right? Do the same thing. Take a range with each other, all right? Now, of course, when we're doing this right now, we're isolating the movement. I'm going to show you the routine I want you to work on, okay? All right, so now you both got a long range. So Alex, how are you going to move in? How are you going to see the operation of coming in? You can throw 2 moves. All right, so that's not too bad. Over-exaggeration on the movement, though. It's got to just cut, boom, be very direct. You got to come in very strong. All right, and let's see what you got. It's confusing, right? Yeah, there you go. That was better. But still, you like to tip, right? You still like to tip, which is a problem. Why one of your range problems is why you're always keeping those big gaps, right? Because you're really confused on how the little movement comes in again. All right, so take a position, remove, reposition, and now Alex, you go. Now you can bring kicking into this as well, right? So was that kick very direct, very choppy, not a very solid kick, right? So if you're fighting a really good mixed martial art guy, he's just got to step right into that, And so the kicks have to be very specific. Like it has to have a good direction. So you've got to throw the kick like you're throwing the kick and see how your whole body movement amalgamates to that kick. So all the punching and stuff here has to be, real, right? Okay, so, where your knee is aiming, what's coming out, all of that has to come into there because this is all about viewing and stepping, right? All right, so now you go. That was better, right? Getting the whole idea of that movement, yeah. All right, so what's going to happen in the exercise? You got to constantly, you got to position. So you'll be moving, stop, and then execute the technique. So now you can see here, right? This is very good. You could see here how you got this thing. So like in a fight ring, you would be doing a lot of shuffling and moving until you see your opportunity. And that's good. But if we're working on visual, you really want to see how much movement is it going to take to get to where you want to get. And of course here, just moving. If you feel uncomfortable, you can move your hands to block, to kind of bring that into the game. All right, so now let's just say you're going to go. So you could throw 2 things or 1 thing, and you hold your ground now, right? All right, so you're just seeing where your range is. How much movement is it going to take you to get there? And you see when I do it, it's not a lot of movement, because that's where you want to keep it stealth, right? All right, so you go. How'd you feel about that?
Better than the last kick, but not great.
Not great, no, not great. All right, now you go. Good. So it's not bad, and there was not as much disconnection. There's a lot of disconnection with your energy when you're throwing things. You're kicking and stuff. It's not coming out as one. There's all this excess movement before you throw, and that's where it's going to be a problem, right? All right, hope you got the idea.
Mm-hmm.
All right, come on out here. You and me. Okay. And you guys come over here and do your thing. So just move, and it's just to see. So it's just to see your range. Okay. Can I do this with the cork in my hand?
Probably, if you can.
Sure.
It's funny when I was working with different people, like you learn. So mad. I didn't realize it was scratching my eye. It's so boring. So this will isolate the movement, right? Okay? Especially for you. All right? So let's stand in front of each other, right? Okay? So now we're going to move. And you can also do it from here as well, right? You can play, okay? All right, so now, let's say you got your attack. I think your range is pretty good if you turn your hip, right? Now, why would you choose this hand? Go back to where you were. When all you had to do is just move forward and throw. Why would you make all that excess movement to get there? Unless you were using it as a fake. So if I'm standing kind of the same way, and I do this here, boom, fake, and then come in with this hand, right? So I could, like this hand, right? It's already there. So if I'm taking this move, I move here, I go fake. So if we're here, right, and I go, right, that's where I'm faking it, because you're thinking this hand is like, but it's not going to come. That's a big thing in just fighting with knives and everything else, okay? So, you see, you did movement, and you start to see, I think you think footwork means like step in. Everybody thinks that. Yes, so if we're here, and I'm on the attack, right? So I obviously have to step, right? And my stepping could be very subtle. It could be here, and move. Here, move. Here, you see? I could just have all this technique that comes in, right? And what I was talking about before were his kicking, right? I'm over here, and I go here. Oh, like it's all very close, right? It's all very precise. So stepping doesn't mean a big step, right? So footwork, I'm standing here, right? And if I'm going to step, footwork means this, right? Just to explain footwork. You guys may want to watch this for 1 second, right? So footwork, when you say footwork, you could see that footwork can mean all the subtleties of the movement and the hip, but also here, if I come here, footwork. Now, all this comes in R if I come here, right? I just do here. So if I'm here, I step here, I'm here. You see how fast I get in? So footwork is your slight shimmies, but when you guys fight footwork, you go in this way, and it's the same in the ring as well. Which means you got to grab and you got to move it. It doesn't mean big steps. If it is a big step, for some reason we're fighting like this here, right? If it is a big step, I circle, and then I'm in. You see? Like I'll come to your side where I think here, and then I'll move in, and this is where I'm going to come this way, and where I will throw a kick. Right? So, stepping could be as simple as this. A far away, this. Move to here, and I'm in. You see how that moves towards it? Doesn't mean that stepping, I do this, ground, move forward, which is what you do, right? You push, right? I'm coming here, right? So if I'm here and I step, this moves me even here, and then I switch, and I'm there. You see how much this comes into play, right? These hips and how you're actually moving with that come into play. You got that? So footwork is subtlety, sometimes bold, but on the street it has to be subtle. If do I have a knife with me? Oh, I do. Yay! Now we all know knife attacks and knife fighting is my expertise because people carry weapons. If he's standing there and he's holding a knife, right, and I'm here, and I'm going to attack the knife. Obviously, right here now I can attack the knife. But if I'm here, right, I have to view where that knife's coming from and what's going to happen. So my motion may come here. Look at this step. So he's here, and of course things are moving at you and moving towards you when we get into that, so people aren't being friendly when they're knife fighting. But a lot of people are really dumb when it comes to fighting with knives. They don't know. If you're meeting an expert, well, you're in trouble, and the technique there is, to try to get run. All right? If he's a real expert. Sometimes you can't run, and you got to come in, and there's a lot of good knife technique, not like you see in the movies, right? So here I may come here, right, and move to here, and then attack to the knife here, right? Come out this. So my motion here is just going to, boom, and if I miss, then I have another motion and movement. So that's where the legs start to come into play. But you could see it's the subtleties of movement, that's footwork. Footwork in the ring is different. Footwork in the ring, when you, and I just want to make compare to combat, it's like this here, you're moving this way here, and you're both dancing, and you're fighting two warriors, two people that train, 7 hours a day, that are out there, and they're just fighting all the time, and their endurance level's a little bit, on the street it's different. But footwork works the same way, it can work the same way, right? So you want to try to reach your opponent with more subtleties and hip movement to really bring that into the game. And see, motions like this here, he's far, and I'm like this here, and I'm far. This motion here, see, I step out from here, I move to here, here, all this motion, boom, and then a little shimmy at the end, which I turn and brings me in, right? Because the foot moves all these different ways, which changes your hip, and that's one of the things you have to work on. And don't always step, if you're standing, don't always step this way. You see? And that's where you're doing this and you're coming in. It's easier here because you're practicing your visual and doing all that. But in the ring or fighting in real life, things are moving. And that's what we'll get into. I have fun with that. What you do when you're being attacked, how you're coming and how you're defending yourself. That's real life. Most real life goes into red zone very quickly. Punching fights. You see in real life, sometimes the fist doesn't even leave the person's face before you grab it to the ground. All right, you guys got the idea? Okay, go do your do. So, for fun, I'll try to get around to everybody. Say what you should be doing, like what I just did with your reaching with your hand, right? So you got an idea what I mean by footwork now, yes? Okay. All right, Hulk. Turn green on me. I'm gonna knock you out. All right. All right, so now you're on the attack. So this is a nice range, hard. Do you need to take, and that's not too bad. All right, so you do your thing, right? And now you throw. Look at that. Not bad. And you got both arms ready to come out. Okay, so now go back to your routine. All right? I'm gonna step using what I'm gonna do. So watch this step. I'm gonna go here. Step, here. In real life, it just moves like that. So you can see bringing it to real action does it. It's like Musashi says, the first one that comes down with a sword is usually the winner. Okay? Very direct. Right? Two experts moving against each other, that's how it goes. Unless you're both running from each other, which is not a bad deal. Alright? Alright, so now let's move again, we'll reposition. And you're on the attack. You can kick too, yeah. So you didn't like that, right? Okay, so now you get to do it again. So what's going to change it? Okay, all right, so that wasn't a bad idea, but what you did is you moved like a Hulk. Yeah. All right, so you stepped, boom, very easy to read on the attack. So if you were going to empty that leg out, let's say if I'm here, and I want to throw, you wanted to throw the back kick or the front kick? Back kick, right? If I'm going to throw that, my range is, so my step is going to be light. Now I'm here. So now I'm right in with that. Yeah, you don't have to be so obvious. Okay, that's footwork. Got it? Yeah. Okay. All right, let's do it again. All right, here I am in the Matrix. I hated that scene. All right, go ahead. Yeah, I got it. Still out of range, right? So you see where footwork really is important, as long as it's amalgamating with your body. So this is a hard subject, but there you go. Much better. Right? And you can throw up something else if you want. Right? Now if we were going to throw a kick from here, how would you throw? Because we're close. No? What'd you do? You just shrunk your body up I don't know. Yeah. That's not too bad. But to throw it with the front leg, you ran out of room. With the back leg. So how would you do that? You would step back. You step forward, step back, now throw. All you have to do is shimmy that foot back and throw. But you hold your position. You throw. And I'm not saying it's too bad for grappling if you want to do a takedown and grab it. It's not too bad. But as far as working with your range, you can see that all I have to do is shimmy that foot back and get that one back. And I know I'm saying a lot, but that's what you got to worry about that interplay of motion. So if I'm here, right, and say I want to, so if I'm going to throw, this is the kind of position you were in. If I'm going to throw a front kick, you see, now I can alter my leg, come up here with the kick, and throw. I can do that. I can go, and throw it, right? So I have the capability of doing that, and you don't, right, yet. So now if I just want to throw this, you can see I'm too, if I'm this close and I try to throw, this is what you did, right? This is what I meant. You know, you just squeeze box. Mama's got a squeeze box, Daddy doesn't sleep at night. Great song. All right, so my whole point here now, if I'm here, then I want to move this foot. You see how this foot moves, and then this foot moves? Then I bring the leg up, boom, and then it comes in. It's a combination of movement. So you're having the time to think about it. So you want to make sure that you get to do that. But you saw that, okay, I blew that.
Yeah.
But you can also see, like, if you angled your knee differently, you didn't blow it, if you knew more about kicking. Right?
Yeah.
And footwork. Got it? Okay. All right. A little bit more with you, then I'll work with these guys. All right. Let's move. Here we go. And you're on the attack. As Bruce Lee would say, what was that? That's a little bit better. Right? But you're still like, you know, like so obvious with the movement. Right? So if you're going to do a little bit more subtlety, there you go. And then you come in. Look at that's all you needed to do. See how slight that was. Right? Not these big steps, right? And now you got this, you got that. If you want to throw kicks and stuff like that, there you can. All right, let's move. Let's just work with you. All right, so we'll just move over here because you're easy to hit. All right. So now we've got this nice range here. What are you going to do? You can use your legs. You can do combos too. Okay, so you can see that's nice subtlety. You're already working with that. Whether it was the right one or not, I don't know. Go ahead and boom, boom, right? And then say now from there, let's say you throw your kick. Now you got to throw a punch. For some reason, I'm just a tough guy. I don't move. All right, ready? Let's move. Oh, you try to kick. It's gutsy, right? All right, good. Okay, move. So just so you know, if I'm standing here and you're standing where you were, right? Not everything's on a straight line. So now from here, I can go here. As you start to move, right? I move here. I move here. Boom! Then I throw my stuff out. You see how much movement actually comes in, right? With on the attack motion where you're coming in. Of course, you could be attacking too at that time, and that's where the range has to be different. All right. Right? Don't overthink it, right? Bam, right? Bam, right? That's nice. You're coming in, you're closing in the gap, good. All right? Move again. So this is standard, right? Kind of a standard range here. So you don't have to be too mindful of it, okay? Let's move. So now say if we're here, if I'm coming at you, see I already stepped, right? I already stepped here. Right? Now, your turn. That's better. I mean, you're starting to get an idea, but it's still very stiff. Trying to be a little bit more playful. Right? Don't be so serious. Why so serious? Okay? Yeah, right? We do a little play to the game. Right? And you go again. Not bad. Yeah. Right? You see, your time is a little off, right? There you go. Okay, right from here. Right. Just lift it up. Just lift it up. Right? Set up and down motion. I'm coming back in, right? All right, let's have you two work together. Try a little bit. And then me and Ben, hold on for a second. So how's things going with you? Anything going in the resume department?
On summer vacation from high school for 3 weeks.
Okay, so you gotta work on your resume then?
I was working on demo reel and portfolio.
For the stuff you went to school
I
for?
think just 2 or 3.
I think, so is that to do artwork? How's that going? You have any direction with that? Is it going anywhere? Like anybody you're sending it to, any connections with that at all? Or you just put it out there?
I don't know, put it out there.
You want when it's ready though. So where do you send that stuff to?
Like social media, maybe studios.
You got any in mind? Any studios in mind? Like this would be like Pixel, Universal, stuff like that. That's where you'd be sending you. They're gonna hire you. They'll probably hire you because you're talented. But they do tend to abuse their people a lot. Yeah, take advantage of it. So as well as that, I think like if your stuff is out there, you got probably once it gets out there, you'll probably get a lot of offers. Just another guy that they could just put in a room with a cubicle and have you do the same arm over and over again. That's basically what it's going to be. You got this couple of weeks off now. I would start also working on your chef resume. Like putting that out there to kind of elevate yourself to a better position in your chef, as a chef. Like your years of experience. You have to get somebody to help write that. So while you're looking, you could be more selective about what you're choosing. As far as the artwork goes, because you may leave. You may have to go to California. I have to go wherever the work's at. Wherever it's going to happen. So you may want to have more power in your regular job and making more money, so you can kind of decide more where you want to go. That you're not abrupting your whole life. That's just a suggestion, So cooking you've been doing forever, so you've got an extensive resume. Extensive. You just need to put that together and make more money wherever you're at. Instead of you always being the guy that's, like the job ends up depending on you, all the time, because the way you work, you just have high work ethics, So you may want to think about, I know you don't, but this other thing is still out there, and when you get out there, it's like, hey, okay, yeah, you can come work for us, we're gonna pay you $14 an hour. And you're gonna be working, 80 hours a week, and they don't respect anything. That's the corporate, So if you're thinking you're going there to, like, I'm gonna really show my artwork, then you should get into tattooing. Because you'll make money and you can do it that way, and then you're doing your artwork. But what you're going into, as far as I know about that world, and dealing with, that whole time I was in that world, that's kind of how it goes. So if you're good at your chef work, you can increase on that. Or, work your art in a different field. You always go home to your room and you go in here and you do your artwork, and who knows from that. But the job is just a job. Same as, like, you could be a master chef, like these movies that show these master chefs that do all this. That ain't what it's like in the kitchen. It ain't like that in the kitchen. You're not gonna sit there and just take your time cutting up an onion and put all this stuff and scrape it in. you're producing. And
Sifu, you seen The Bear?
the who?
The Bear.
No. No, I don't watch any of those movies.
No, it's a TV show about chefs in a kitchen.
Yeah, they're working hard, right?
They're working really hard.
Yeah, they work hard. And
It's crazy stuff they do.
Yeah.
You watch it?
Because why would he? He's dude does it every day. So you know what I'm talking about, right? Let me take a peek. You can move on some stuff. Just a suggestion of them, you know, like maybe work on that resume or start thinking about your artwork in a whole different line. You know? But you do work for a company like that, you know, maybe when you're 70, you'll be, you know, one of the directors, you know. But your personality, you're so quiet, I don't know about that. You know. How are things going out here? You know, while you're out here.
Ben, you want to work with Moshe? Ben, I've always wanted to ask you, are you immortal?
Immortal?
Like, have you been around forever? Because you just have that look of someone who's, like, seen it all, has been like, this is nothing.
I don't know, I could remember the lifetimes, and I'm like, died before, and I don't know. It's like,
Alright, well, if you have the secret to immortality, please let me know. Could really capitalize on that.
it's probably overrated.
That's right, too.
Yeah, you can do it right there too. We're very comfortable, you know? How do you
Good.
You good with everything?
Yeah.
That was just been on.
There's a couple of angles that need to be adjusted, but
Yeah.
for the most
Put it
part.
on the plate right now, so it'll be good.
Alright. Oh, so you want to get in?
Sure. Do you know what we're doing?
Yeah, Sifu just explained it to us. Actually, explain it again because you explained something else after you explained it.
Okay.
Okay, yeah.
We both take a stance, wide between us, and then we try to adjust our footwork and our body, hips, everything to try to give the person working
Yeah.
2 moves. Then the other person goes, then you reset. You go first.
Wait, 2 moves as a cool boom. Alright.
It is to try not to take a big step or try to use subtle movements to cover more distance. Back. Okay, go back to where you were.
No, I continue.
I'm gonna go.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go. Reset.
Take a little break here, Kevin. Good. Yeah, viewing is good. Look what I got.
Good job.
Big water.
Big water.
Big water.
Big water for a big boy.
Yeah, I don't know about that. Not bad, Tim. Nice range. You're coming a long way. You didn't take him any further on it, you just corrected him.
Yeah.
I'd like you to go out to get him to go a little bit further with it. Oh, time is already. All right, come on, we'll get out here with you. So I'm going to let you do the movement, right? I'll try not to talk too much about it. Just let you see, unless you really like scrub a move. All right, so now you've got those long arms and legs. You can bring them into play, but sometimes they can also be a hindrance. They can get in the way, right? All right, so let's move. All right, so I took a wide range, okay? What's your movement? Now, did the kick go where you wanted it to go?
I gave myself more range just to be on the safe side, but you went,
Where you wanted to go. So your eyes matched where that kick was.
Yeah.
So how I saw it, you kicked here. But you may have seen it that you were kicking triangle.
it flipped. So the toe came in.
Okay, that's what I'm asking.
Yeah.
As long as you know where it's going,
Yeah.
all right? Because I would have taken advantage of that.
Yeah. I was trying to come under and then off.
Okay,
That's why I went this
that's
way.
what I'm asking. All right.
Yeah.
All right, so now we move again. And you could do combos too. You could do legs, hands, right? So now we got a nice range, right? Now for you, because of your arm length and stuff, if I was really fighting you, I may move here
Yeah.
and bait you in with the long legs and arms, right? To bring you into me, right? But here we're just working on the motion, right? Go ahead.
I wasn't happy with that second target, but.
It's okay, it's all right. You know, that's what you're trying to find, slight movement. So if I was here, and you know, I'm a little stubby body, right? If I was here, but watch this back foot. Watch this. All right? So I'm here. move here. Now, see, so that motion, boom, see how fast it moves when it moves. All right, so everything in speed times here is breaking it down, it's a little bit different. So when you guys are getting, you could practice that faster as well. All right, so let me move again. That's your attack, you're just working with you. I'm curious what you're gonna do here. It's a nice position, right? Definitely yin and yang, some dualities here. Go ahead. So go back to that move again. So what did you just do there? You just shimmy that in a little bit to get closer? That's nice. Good. All right. All right. So that's footwork. Now you're working footwork. So footwork always like people, this is footwork. If I'm here, footwork could just be here. Turn. Here. Now I got my kick. I could fake with this and come in with my legs. I could fake with this, come in with my legs. Right? Or I can fake with a leg, I'll come with my hands. Right? You see? So that all comes into play.
Gotcha.
Well, going to the bathroom.
Well, I just drank that.
It's a little suspicious, but okay, go ahead. Have fun, don't be here. If you're there for shaking more than twice, you're playing with yourself. All right. Come on, my crazy dog. All right, ready? So you can move quicker, you know, because you got enough experience. You want to move, and I'm just going to move around, right? So that was a mile away, right? So that was here, right?
Because, yeah.
Yeah, so, okay, so range. Get better with your range, right? Okay, let's go again. Here we go. A little bit better. Still, needs a little bit more. So now, what are you going to do? You going to throw a kick?
Oh, no, I was going to move off of this one.
All right. Because I was hoping for a kick, that would have been a nice elbow shot.
Yeah, I know, that's why I didn't throw the kicks.
Yeah.
Sorry, that was like,
Yes, all right, okay. Nice, that was good, I enjoyed that. All right, I like that. See how you just looped and you went around? That was good technique. Right? I still would like your legs to come up a little higher.
Okay.
It seems like they're just missing the mark a little bit. Right? So like what I see. So if you're standing here, I'm gonna throw a kick. You throw a kick. It always seems like you're coming here. If the knee comes up higher, then I'm coming up. I would like you to bring your knees up a little bit more the problem with you is that you have long legs.
Yeah.
And they're getting in your way.
Yeah.
They're just like, and so I think you're misinterpreting some of the movement when you're coming in. It's not coming directly to where I feel it should be going. So you may want to experiment bringing the knees up more. Just to kind of try. Just give it a shot, I don't want to kill you. You're doing good. That I liked. You see, I brought that knee up more, it was coming in, that to me was a nice kick. Right? That's why I would like you to start practicing, especially when you do free fighting. That was good. Yay! Right? Yay! And that's got to work more on your visual. I think your legs and your arms get in the way of your visual cortex.
Also because this tightens up a lot.
Well,
I gotta work on
that's
that.
the best way to loosen it up,
Yeah.
is to do that. So
I think I guard it without thinking about it.
Yes, I think you do.
Yeah.
Good. So now you need to practice getting your legs up more. Your knees, bring your knees up, even when it's ridiculous. Right? Even when it's ridiculous. Get it up more and make sure it's going like when you're practicing on your own. And like that. So that was a great loop around movement and punching. I like that. That was good. Okay, ready? So here you go, a fucking guy like this here. And he's got his coverage. It's like he's being caught into my arms. You know, go ahead, he's throwing your hips. So you've got elbows down, he's here, and he's moving, right? There you go, nice movements. Very little movement, very little hip movement, and you just worked right around the arms, which is good, right? Good, right? So this gets more into that kind of like, you know, so what if you hit me? You know, really, it's, you know, that's how I used to fight. So what if you hit me? Just come right in off those hits. And that's kind of what you guys are going to learn in that class. All right, let's move. Now go back to that kick.
Yeah, walking times.
Okay, so here losing your balance, right? That was in the exact same stance, right? Now bring that kick up, bring your knee all the way up, then throw. See how it still droops down? That's what I want you to avoid.
Okay. Well, I'm kind of.
I want you to be very direct.
Okay.
That last kick you threw, that's gonna mark your visual better.
Okay.
Be very direct. Don't worry about getting it in. Don't worry about. Just be very direct with the kick.
Got
All right. All right. Now go back to that kick again.
So,
yeah,
yeah,
bring the knee
yeah.
up, all the way. Boom. That's what I want.
Okay.
Even up more. When you stand, go bring the leg like you just did. Stand. All right. So they do come up. I don't have to crunch the nose, get a unicorn, yeah, like smash, right? They come up. Just bring them up. Now, if I'm throwing a kick, you're standing here, right? If I'm throwing a kick and I'm coming this way, right? So as I'm coming here, when I throw this kick, boom, right? It comes up. It can also drop back down if I wanted to drop down. So the leg movement still has this motion to it. It's just that when you throw it, it kind of scoops like an ice cream. And that's what I want you to start avoiding on your front kicks. Just get those knees up for now. Start practicing. Get them up, right? And you can throw some combinations, you know. We're done? See? Yeah.
As I'm trying to sneak it. I'm trying to sneak it, and that's why it's not coming in the way it wants
really
to.
want to use your visual. You know? I'm not saying that, and it's great for grappling what you're doing. It's a good grappling technique to throw that in and jump in on them. So these guys are in trouble when it comes to that. But I really right now want to work on that visual.
Okay. Yeah, I got you. Yeah, no, it's a habit.
Gotta break that habit. So I want you to break that habit. Still needs work, but I'm glad you see it.
Yeah.
So I'm not just saying you're saying Sifu's crazy. You know, okay, I see it. Right? And when
It
it throws that,
it still drops.
and then it does that glitch.
Yeah.
So when you practice freestyle at home, you practice freestyle, you want to bring them all up. Like this is what you were doing here when you start practicing with kicking in front of someone. All right, so let's just say if we're just, no, let's stay with this program.
I'm just gonna do. I'm in the lock kicks.
Yeah, okay.
Sort it out. Dropping.
Now you understand why I say you like kicking.
Yeah, no, I know, because
Okay, as long as you know. You just gotta work them legs better. We can do some combinations, right? Your punches are coming out great, the legs, good work. You know, but you get an idea. Don't get frustrated, Rick. You should get frustrated, but in a good way.
yeah, no, it is.
All right, guys.
I never really understood what you're talking about. Now I get it.
Yes. See? All right. So now I'm trying to get out on the floor more with you guys. So because I have to with what we're doing. All right.